Hey there, CJ Math students. Welcome to Notes 5.7, two-step equations, continued practice. So we're going to solve each equation, then check our answer to prove, justify our answer is correct. So always starts off with drawing our scales of justice. Locate the constant. That's the number all by itself. I see it's minus 8, so I can add 8. And you always want these constants to cancel off. In this case, they do, right? So then we drop down not 7p, but negative 7p. You'll hear me say it over and over again. The signs matter. Again, negative 36 plus 8 is negative 28. Signs matter. Please use your calculator to prove it to yourself. Then I'll go ahead and divide by negative 7. These cancel out because they're 1, so p is equal to a positive 4. Notice I also have negative 4 on there just in case you messed up the signs, so be very diligent about your signs today. To check, we literally write down our equation. Negative 36 equals negative 7p, but instead of p, I'm going to plug in my answer of 4 minus 8. Do order of operations. So negative 36 is equal to, do the multiplication first. That's negative 28 minus 8. And then negative 36 is equal to, put that in your calculator, and you'll find out, oh, that's also negative 36. Boom, I'm done. All right. Number 2, I'm going to have you do an Ed puzzle. Skip on down to number 5. So I've got k over 8 plus 2 equals 1. Draw your scales of justice. I'm going to see adding 2, so I'll subtract 2 from both sides. Cancel out because that's 0. It's exactly what I want it to become. K over 8 gets dropped down is equal to 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Now I see division, so therefore I multiply both sides by 8. These cancel out here because 8 times k is 8k, divided by 8 is just 1, so we just say k is equal to negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Right, so A is my answer. To check it, I'm going to plug in my answer. So instead of k over 8, I'm going to say negative 8 over 8 plus 2 equals 1. Negative 8 over 8 is negative 1 plus 2 equals 1. And then negative 1 plus 2 is 1 equals 1. So you know you're correct. I'm going to have you do number 6 in Ed Puzzle. And finally, go ahead now, and I want to skip all the way to problem like number 11. Right? So we're going to write an equation for the word problem and then solve it. So it says Alberto rented a bike from James Bikes. It cost 17 plus 7 per hour. Notice we don't know how many hours Alberto rented it. We do know if Alberto paid $31, how long did he rent the bike for? So we got 17 plus 7. You could say h. I like to just say x equals 31. Right? I'm going to allow you to now solve this equation in Ed Puzzle. Notice you see addition, so you're going to want to hopefully subtract 17 from both sides. Right? Scoot on down to number 13. It says Stephanie rented a bike from Kayla's Bikes. It cost 16 plus 8 per hour. If Stephanie paid 72, then she rented the bike for how long? Tell me what should the equation be, and if you are struggling, look back up at 11. Number 14. 119 students went on a field trip. 3 buses were filled. 14 students traveled in cars. How many students were in each bus? So this is a tricky one. 3 buses were filled. So that's like how many students can fit on a bus. Divide that by 3. And 14 students also went in cars. Altogether, there were 119 students on the trip. So to work that out again, these students right here are all the students on the bus. Divide them by 3 because there are 3 buses, plus the 14 students that went in car equals 119 altogether. So draw your scales of justice, and please do me a favor and solve that in Ed Puzzle. The last one, 15 and 16, we'll go over together in class. So if you're waiting for anything to finish up, you can try any of the problems that I have not done.